It's time. Yes, sir, it is time to sell the 2002 Grizzly 660. I have had this bike for 11 years. I have put many miles on. They've all been my own miles, for the most part. Maybe Dad took it out once or twice. However, it's time to sell it, because there's a new one there. So I gotta sell this one. So basically what you're going to get is a very, very well-maintained 2002 Grizzly 660. Engine hours, I think we're around the 750 mark. Let's just turn that on. Okay. 762, and the last oil change was at 750, so the next oil change is at 800 hours. And we have 13,845 kilometers, not miles, kilometers. Okay. Just to show that this ATV is fine, I'll run through everything here. This is an absolute cold start, like that is ice cold. Ice cold. Well, it's cold. I'll put my hand right on the header if I can get in here. You can't see it. Anyway, my hand is right on the header pipe, so it's in no way, shape, or form been started. Probably been about a week, I'd say. Reserve. A little bit of choke. This bike is always started. I think this is only the second battery I've ever had in it. But anyway, I'm just going to let this warm up for a minute here, then I'll pull it back so we can actually see it. Okay, now we can actually walk around it. It's going to come with a 1,500-pound winch. That is a champion winch. It's white for some reason, but it is a champion winch. Clevis style hook on it, little winch bumper. The brand new rims and tires off of this machine have gone on this machine because I wanted to keep those rims and tires for that new one. You actually are going to get more tread on these rims and tires than I am sacrificing to put on this one because I really like those tires. So I decided to do that to keep those tires and to give whoever buys this the brand new rims and tires. They are Maxxis stock rims and tires, MU05Ys. These are Yamaha OEM rims and tires. Again, bike is 2002 Grizzly 660. I guess modifications. There's not too many modifications I've made. Inside of the airbox is a Pro Flow air filter flange. I put that on very, very early in the stages of owning this ATV. If you know anything about the history of the Yamaha Grizzlies, including this one, they have, I guess, airbox issues. They've been known to bypass dirt on the air filter. This bike has never, ever had that problem because I put a Pro Flow air filter flange on and a two-stage unifilter. So that has been on there for many, many years, almost since the entirety of my ownership of this ATV. I have never, ever had dust in that carburetor. The bike does not smoke. As you can see on startup, there's no smoke. It was cold. You get the box with it, including the Cadillac symbol. Pretty much stock as is. You can see it still has a stock muffler. I did have a Super Trap muffler on there at one point, Super Trap IDSX. I liked it. It was cool. And then I had a Swamp Series, and it was loud, and I took it off. I didn't like it, so I went back to stock. I didn't have those mufflers on there very long. The recoil starter on this bike actually works. I'm not going to recoil it because it's a lot of compression there still. So if you want to try it when you come to look at it, sure, by all means. I guess Pro Taper pillow top grips. They're a nice soft grip. They are not heated. I never had heated grips on this bike. It's just I've never had a really need for it, but I'm getting older, so now I guess, wussing out, and now I want heated grips on this one. LED lights, everything does work. Key on. Okay, we have low beams, high beams. The brake lights do work. There's actually an integrated tail light, brake light that I put in the box. LED lights. They only have three LEDs per light, and they do work very well at night. I do have a couple night rides on my channel. The bike is snorkeled, as you can see. The Snorkels are not that intrusive. I've seen great big honking snorkel systems on these things. No, that's not what I wanted. And please don't say that this bike is meant for the water. I've never meant to have this bike built for the water and for the mud. Those Snorkels were there for preventative maintenance. As you can see, the rear snorkel does come out through the box. If you don't want to have the box on it, you can actually take the rear snorkel off and then just tie it right here. In the wintertime, I actually used to take the hose off of that, put it directly inside the box, and heat the box in the wintertime. It was kind of neat. Let's see. Everything is as clean as I can get her anyway. I mean, I could spend hours here cleaning every detail of this bike, but for the most part, when it's sat in the garage, and it's always been garage kept, it is how you see it. It's been armor oiled to death its entire life. I didn't baby the bike, but I took very, very good care of it. So, again, just to walk around, show you what you're getting. Somebody's having fun in the background there. In 2002, hang on, I gotta unplug my little sub pump. I'm filling up my rain barrel in the back here. Or filling up my irrigation tank out of the rain barrels. That's what I'm doing. Not what I said. Never mind what I said. Okay, where was I? In 2002. In 2002, they didn't have, and 2003, they didn't have the little green override button that you see here. You'll see it, or orange or silver, whatever color it is, gray, override, like you see on the older model 660s and the 700s. What that does is allows you to have full power in reverse. There is a modification, and it's very simple. All you do is just ground one wire on the ECM, and you allow full power in reverse. Without it, if you take that wire off the frame and put it in reverse and give it any type of throttle past a quarter, the ignition cuts out, and it is very annoying, especially if you're trying to back up in snow or whatever. You actually need a little bit more power, so that modification was done for that reason. And for that reason, you will notice, if you own the bike, this reverse light will flash. It's been flashing for about 11 years. There's nothing wrong with the bike. If you look at the owner's manual, it says there's something wrong with the speed sensor. There's nothing wrong with the speed sensor. It's because I have that wire grounded. So if you don't like the blinking light there, put a sticker or something over it. I don't know. Yes, other than that, it's been an absolute rock solid bike. I really hope that I get the reliability out of this 2019 Grizzly 700 EPS as I did out of this 2002 Grizzly 660. This bike has been absolutely rock solid, and that is why I have kept it for so long. Realistically, I probably could have afforded another bike earlier. Didn't want one. This thing has just been absolutely rock solid, and it will make somebody a solid ATV for doing whatever you want to do. Hunting, fishing. If you want to put more miles on it, cross Newfoundland, by all means you can do it. My plan is to take this bike across Newfoundland next year. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. Just timing, and that takes a little bit of money that I just am not going to have next year anyway. What else do you get? You get some spare parts. You get a front and mid stock skid plate. I did replace those are the originals from 2002. I did replace the skid plates on it, not because it broke anything, because it actually got worn out from dragging on, you know, ruts and whatever, and over the years, and it happens. But they're there for that reason and not to damage the frame. If you take those skid plates off, you won't find any damage to the frame. You get a coffee can full of spare parts. There's a belt. I change the belt on this machine every 5,000 kilometers. You don't need to do that. I did anyway. This belt is like brand hammering new. And whenever I swap them, I usually ended up selling the old belt, but then I figured, I'll keep one with them at all times. Oh yes, this ATV actually has 12 millimeter tie rods and heavy-duty tie rod ends. Those are the stocks. Those are 10 millimeter. What else here? This is actually a PDF copy of the OEM service manual from Yamaha. This is not a Haynes manual. This is the OEM service manual I purchased for like $100 in a PDF when I bought the bike. Some random parts and stuff like that. I think there's a shim in there for the rear differential. I did rebuild the bearings and seals in the front and rear differential a couple times, just from wear and tear. There is maintenance records and receipts from the past 11 years here. Shows you how anal I am when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's all there. If you ever want to know the history, it is all there. That's just how I roll, I guess. I take pride in what I have, and you should too. You should take pride in knowing that this machine was very, very well taken care of. If you want to come take a look at it, you can put it on the lift. You can see there's no play in the front wheels, no play in the back wheels. Recent work done, bushings, bearings. You've seen in one of my videos, I replaced that steering stem bearing in there. That took probably about 6 or 7 hours worth of labor right there. I've always done my own maintenance on it. I am not the original owner. I bought the bike with about 1,200 some odd kilometers in Fredericton, New Brunswick, is when I picked it up, and it was February. It was a cold, cold February when I brought this bike home. And one axle's been replaced. The right rear. You'll notice it's just a tiny bit fatter than the left one. It wasn't broken. I had a CV, an outboard CV starting to go on me, and I just wanted to replace the entire axle because it was cheaper to buy an aftermarket axle assembly than it was to get the OEM part from the outside. Rest of them, stock CV joints, stock axles. The rear drive shaft, that's been replaced. Not replaced, I guess rebuilt. The brake pads. Oh yeah, you also get another set of brake pads in there, and they're nice ceramic ones too. That spline and the cup, actually, the drive cup was replaced, and I showed that in a video. I mean, guys, I wasn't doing YouTube 11 years ago, but you can go back and see all the proper maintenance that this bike has had, and it's always been like that. Anyway, yes, I am bragging. Love this bike. I'm going to miss this bike, but I'm starting to fall in love with this one. Anyway, what I'm asking, I am asking a very, very fair and marketable $3,500. There's going to be no tax until it goes into your name, and you probably won't be taxed for the $3,500. So, that is what I'm asking. It is worth it, absolutely. I really can't find any other reason why this ATV is not worth $3,500, and that's Canadian. I know I got a lot of US viewers. You're welcome to come get it if you want, but it's going to be a long drive. You're going to spend a lot more than $3,500 for fuel. So that's what you're going to get. Spare parts. Very well maintained Grizzly 660. And the knowledge to know that it's been well taken care of. And I very, very much had a lot of pride in it. Okay. I'm tearing up. No, I'm not. I might. Okay, thanks very much, guys. My name is RyeGuy8888. Please join me on my my ride videos, my maintenance videos. Going to be doing some things with this. I did put about 100 clicks on it. It's still in the break-in stage. I didn't record it because I just did the rails to trails around here. Anyway, you guys have been great. I see I've got some new subscribers. Thank you very much for that, for supporting me. And long of the short of it is, you won't be seeing this bike anymore. You'll be seeing that one. Thanks very much, guys. RyeGuy out.